Hello, everybody. Welcome to Late Night Football. Welcome to our match reaction show. It's finished. West Ham United 2, AZ Alkmaar 1. Lost my thought there, but a fantastic win for West Ham United coming from behind after being 1-0 down. It's a massive, massive win, a massive lead that they take into the game in the Netherlands against Alkmaar. It's not done yet by any means. I mean, Alkmaar played really well today, and I fully expect that they will put up a big fight in the second leg. And you don't know how these things can turn. I mean, probably Alkmaar definitely have a very, very good chance still to go through because they were playing at home. But just talking about this game itself today, that was fantastic for a comeback from West Ham. But Alkmaar had them on the ropes for a while there, and I mean the game plan was pretty clear from West Ham. They were going to sit back and they were going to soak up pressure, and then they were going to hit on the counter, which is kind of what you normally do in games like this. As European, it was surprising, but also very good European nows from David Moyes, because normally you get into a tie like this. It's a European semi-final. West Ham technically are the favorites because they're a Premier League club, so they might have felt like we've got to go and attack, we've got to be the ones to be aggressive and to be proactive. But they say, you know what, no, this is the way we play, this is how we play, and this is what we're going to do. We're going to let Alkmaar have the ball, and we're just going to be compact and safe and make sure that we take our chance to the break. The goal though probably lit a fire under their behinds in a way, because was that a foul? So initially, was that a foul on Paqueta? I think it's one of those where if it's given, it's given, and if it's not given, the VAR is not going to overturn it. So West Ham can consider themselves a little bit hard done by, because you've seen those fouls being given, but at the same time, once it was not given, there was no way that VAR was going to overturn it. But I do feel Areola should have done a lot better, and I think everybody agrees that Areola should have saved that, kept that out. It wasn't a the shot was good. It was, it bounced, but it's not exactly in an area where Areola can get it away. It's not exactly the kind of shot where, because he actually punches over it, so he basically misjudges the flight as opposed to like taking him by surprise. He just misjudges the flight, so he could have saved it. He probably should have saved it. Which again, if they had lost, and I probably would have made a stronger case for this, is Moyes should be starting Fabianski. I mean, yes, Areola has got you this far, but now this is the business end of the competition. You'll be fighting for a place in the European final. West Ham don't get themselves in these positions often. They happened last year, but it hasn't happened for a while. So, and it might not happen for a while. If they lose this semi-final, then they're probably not going to be in Europe for a while again. So you want to play your best team, and your best team includes your best goalkeeper, which is Fabianski. So I think that's something that Moyes has to think about, and probably he should be starting Fabianski in the next game. I don't think he will, but I think he should, because you want your best players to be playing the biggest games, and this is as big a game as it gets for West Ham. So they've got to be playing Fabianski, but we'll see what happens. But they came out in the second half. They looked a lot better. I think there was a bit of change of tactics as well, in terms of like pressing higher up the pitch, making sure that they've got that energy. Because I think as much as they were being passive, I think at times they were being too passive. They were letting Alkmaar have the space. You don't want to do that. Yes, you want to stay shape. You want to stay in shape. You want to stay compact. You want to play on the counter, whatever. That's all fine. But you can't be too passive in that you're allowing Alkmaar to just have the freedom of the pitch. In some cases, the midfielders just had too much time, so they need to close that down. All of that though doesn't matter, because I thought Alkmaar could have seen it through, except then Matt Ryan goes and does what he does, punches Bowen. I mean, it's poor goalkeeping again. So we saw two poor bits of goalkeeping. It's poor goalkeeping, because if you're going to come out to punch it, you've got to make sure that you've got, again, it's misjudging. It's just misjudgment, isn't it? But you've got to be aware of what happens. And credit to the referees as well for getting this one, because oftentimes goalkeepers get protected, and these kind of things get let go sometimes. But in this case, they took the action. They said, no, it's a foul, it's a penalty. That's the right decision. And good penalty from Benrahma. He scored 2 in 2 games now. He also got the winner against Manchester United, of course. But it's a good penalty. It's 1-1. And then you kind of felt like West Ham were going to score again, and they just looked good. And then that second goal comes. And again, it's a corner, which I think West Ham didn't get enough corners. I think that's something they want to look at, because they're very deadly on corners, but they didn't get a lot of corners today. So that's actually well done from Alkmaar's point of view. I don't know if it was intentional or not, but they didn't give away a lot of corners, which is fantastic to see. And hopefully they can keep doing that in the next game as well. But the one corner that just came in, it just loops over, and credit again to, I think it was Rice who got that final like he made sure he kept it in, and then kept his composure to get a good cross in. The initial shot was saved, but Antonio is able to follow up, makes it 2-1, and that is a massive lead that they will now take into the game against Alkmaar. I think it's important for them to win this game. It's important for West Ham to win this game, because you don't want to put yourself, you never want to put yourself in a situation where you have to go in the second leg and in a away leg, whether it's home or away. You never want to put yourself in a position where you're in the second leg where you need to win a game. You always want to be in a situation where you can get away. Even with a draw, you can qualify. And by win, I mean penalties and all that, yes, but you don't want to where you have to win in normal time. You don't want to put yourself in a position where you have to win in normal time on 120 minutes. You always want to put yourself in a position where you can Ideally, you can even lose and go through, but at least that you only need a draw to go through. That always helps. I think that's fantastic for West Ham United. Will they go through? I mean, it's tough to tell because Alkmaar played quite well today, so I'm not going to make a prediction here and say who's going to go through. But it's going to be a fight in the next game as well. It's going to be tough. It's not job done by any means. Of imagination. I think there's still a lot of football to be played. But West Ham, if they show the fight and the energy, they show that they have a good chance of going through. But same could be said for Alkmaar. They show a lot of fight as well. I can't. I mean, it's difficult for me to say what Alkmaar could do differently because I don't know much about them, and I'm not going to claim here to know more. But you might want to look at a couple of players. I think Mihailovic came on and didn't really do much, so maybe they want to look at how they can get him more involved when they bring subs on, when they want to bring subs on. But other than that, I think it was ultimately errors, right? It was two individual errors. It was set piece and a punch from Ryan that ultimately gave West Ham the win. So I don't think there's a lot that a coach can do about errors. Tactically, yes, I think they did okay. So maybe their passing was a bit wavered to the last 20 minutes, and that might be an issue for fatigue. So that's something. I am expecting the Alkmaar and West Ham will probably both rest their first 11s for this weekend's games anyway. I don't see why either of them will play their first team. So I expect that. So we'll see what happens in the next step, of course. But much like for West Ham, congratulations to West Ham for winning this game and taking something for the next leg. So do smash a like if you're a West Ham fan. Even though not a West Ham fan, smash like for West Ham. Do share your comments in the game as well. What do you think will happen in the second leg? What do you think is going to happen? I know this will not be a very watched video, and that's fine. I mean, this was a game that I wanted to watch, and so it was fun for me to watch it. But do share your comments, of course, and do subscribe to our channel on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We'll be coming up with a couple more reaction videos because there's quite a few. I don't know who decided that they should have all 4 games at the same time at 3 o'clock. By the way, can we talk about that for a second as well? I mean, what kind of rubbish is that? I mean, you've had Europa games at 1 o'clock and 3 o'clock this whole time, Canadian time, this whole time, and now suddenly you decide that from the semi-finals onwards we're going to have all 4 games. You've got 2 competitions. Give them the space. Why have 4 games at the same time? Have 2 2 early kickoff and 2 late kickoff. I mean, it's sometimes UEFA just overcomplicates things, I swear. Anyway, do share your thoughts, of course, and do subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching. We'll see you again soon. Bye bye.